Hello there, and thank you for your interest. My name is Mandy Freilich, and I am the founder as well as a licensed advisor for Black Hills Financial Planning. Today, I just want to speak with you a bit about what Black Hills Financial Planning really focuses on when we work with clients to help them create great financial health. So, as a partner firm with the Wealth Store, a firm that has been helping thousands of people over 20 plus years develop great financial health through the same approach, we teach a foundational planning strategy to helping you create great financial health. So, there are four pillars to foundational planning. And our approach is a bit different because we would like to teach the people that we work with not only about how the system works, but specifically the guaranteed solutions that are available. So you don't have to risk your livelihood, your retirement, or even the potential of having enough money for long-term care. Instead, we're going to show you how to get the best out of all four pillars. So the first pillar is debt elimination. And this is honestly the most important pillar because the majority of Americans, it's over 80% now, have roughly $45,000 in debt. And that debt is just hanging over them. Most importantly, it's growing with compounded interest. And so the debt they may have today will actually be substantially more in the future. And when you look at it and kind of break it down in terms of how much is going out each month, spoiler, it's three-quarters of the amount someone brings in each month in their paycheck, towards compounded interest and taxes, it makes you want to take a step back and be like, hey, how did we get this way? So this is just the American lifestyle. Being consumerists, we have been sold the lie essentially that we need to go and purchase more things and, get more status symbols and find shiny things that affirm our wealth and success because that's the American dream, right? Well, studies have shown us that that's not the case. Rather, we thrive when we have strong social support and connections, when we have family, when we feel like we're pursuing purpose, when we are surrounded by all of that which we love and we're able to do things that bring us joy. That's true success. And honestly, we can't really measure it in the same way that we were told to in cars and houses and whatnot. Furthermore, it actually reduces the amount of time that we have to spend building relationships and getting all of that wonderful healing results from having great family structure around us. So it's kind of backwards. And unfortunately, that's how most Americans are living right now. So, with quite a bit of debt and not a lot of opportunity in terms of bringing in a lot of more cash flow really soon, what we do when we work with our clients is look first and foremost at what's coming in the door and what's going out. And so we can first and foremost find those inefficiencies in how money is being spent and help our client conserve a bit. Now, we're not going to ask them to eat beans and rice, cut up their credit cards, or consolidate their debt for a fee, which should be illegal. But instead, we will look into what they're actually paying towards all of their expenses each month and teach them how to negotiate them down as well too. So I'll bet you didn't know that home and auto insurance is typically highly negotiable. You can negotiate those rates down and save quite a bit of money, which can then be put into different plans essentially to help you get out of debt faster. If you join one of my free webinars, I will be happy to show you this strategy. It's the number one strategy in the US right now to get out of debt in under 9 years or less without paying any more money than you do today. And yes, this does include your mortgages, college debt, and being able to build liquidity that is tax-free in a litigation-proof environment that can be used for retirement and long-term care. Kind of amazing. But anyways, so once we get our clients out of debt, then we move on to the other three pillars. Number two is estate planning. Estate planning, contrary to what you might initially think, isn't just for people who have a ton of different cars and maybe a big mansion and a lot of money that they want to leave to their family. In fact, estate planning is one of the most vital resources I think that we need to offer the average individual and family, because how the system is currently set up is so that when someone passes, all of the assets that are in their name have to go through a probate process, which typically lasts 6 to 18 months in most states, is very expensive from all of the lawyer fees, and just adds more stress, I think, to the emotional distress that families are going through by making them go through the court process as well. So probate is not awesome. And essentially through estate planning, what we can help you do is set up a revocable living trust, which you contain 100% control over. And in that trust, you can retitle your assets into it virtually becoming litigation proof because you don't own anything on paper. It's all in the trust, which you have 100% control over. Kind of cool. So by that fact alone, you can avoid the probate process, and there's a lot more benefits to estate planning as well too. The second big key benefit that comes from putting together this living trust is that we help you put all of the necessary documents in place to protect your assets and, of course, put you in a good spot in the event of incapacitation. So I have some clients that go, hey, Mandy, I really don't need these documents. I have a beneficiary set up with my company, my 401k. So I think we're good. I'll go, okay, that's fine. You don't want to protect your assets. However, I would really love to talk with you about, what would happen in the event of incapacitation. They go, well, I just said I have a beneficiary. Okay. But what has to happen before the court will legally allow your beneficiary to have the authority to act on your behalf and make decisions for you? Oh, well, I guess death? Yeah, death. But we're not talking about death right now. We're talking about incapacitation, which means, unfortunately, are unable to manage your day-to-day affairs. So you could be in the hospital in a coma, I hope not, and essentially without a power of medical, power of attorney, and some other different documents will help put into place for you. Your family isn't able to actually make the decisions that you would want on your behalf. In addition to that, there are some other documents like a will that we'll put into the living trust as well. Really good reason to put a will in the living trust versus just have a will in general is because a will is public knowledge, whereas a trust is 100% private. So whereas someone could go down to the county courthouse and get a will for $15, a trust, on the other hand, is entirely private. And as a result, if someone wanted to contest a will in a trust, they would have to sue every single person listed in there. It's kind of unreasonable for the average person as well. So just creates more protections. And then, of course, with a living trust, you are able to dictate exactly how you want everything in your estate to be managed, handled, passed on, transferred, the different provisions in terms of how much people get and when, and or if they have to do something really fancy with your remains, and they are legally bound enough to do it. So it gives you 100% control, which is why we teach our clients about estate planning, because it is vital. If you want to avoid the very stressful and expensive process of probate and just have more control in general over your estate, please ask us about estate planning. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the third pillar, which is retirement planning. Now, retirement planning is something that a lot of us are like, yeah, I'll get to it one day. But I have to say, the sooner you start, the better. It's pretty incredible how, with compounded interest and the guaranteed solutions available to the majority of us today, you could be putting away very little every month and have a pretty decent retirement by the time you're 40, 50, or even 60 years old. Now, the average baby boomer is actually entering retirement age with roughly $200,000 of debt. And we know that when it comes to skilled nursing care, the average nursing facility is about $90,000. In-home assisted skilled nursing care is about $60,000, $65,000. So if people are entering retirement with debt, how are they supposed to not only live a retirement they enjoy, but then pay for the medical costs that are going to come down the line? This is something that really breaks my heart, because the third and fourth pillar, retirement planning and long-term care, there are ways to essentially guarantee that you have enough mailbox money, the amount of money that comes to your mailbox every month, to live a life that's enjoyable for you, that allows you to spend the later part of your life enjoying what you work so hard for. And when it comes to the long-term care component, it's really important to understand that these are our family members that we need to help protect by putting in various provisions and financial planning options, so that when something happens, if they lose 2 out of 6 of their ADLs, activities of daily living, and life becomes more difficult, family members aren't obligated to stop their lives to help them because medical care can't be afforded. Instead, there's a cushion, there's an option. People have access to the medical care they need, which, hallelujah, is what we should all be working for. So those are the 4 pillars in a nutshell. I am extremely passionate about this work because guaranteed solutions from a foundational planning approach changes lives. When you take the time to look at the ship, I guess, and how you're navigating forward and really plot the course and plan the journey. Oh my gosh, it's so much smoother. And that's all we're really going to help you do is understand your current financial plan to what we can help put in place for you, and then give you the steering wheel back. Say, hey, it's up to you. You can be the captain of your own life and navigate these waters and make amazing things happen, and we'll help you do it. Or you can take chances and gamble. But either way, we're here supporting you. So if you have any questions, please do reach out. I look forward to hearing from you. And of course, you can always, anytime, set up your free consultation. Once again, we can compare your current planning to the planning we can put in place for you and just show you what does it really look like down the line to the dollar amount. It's that accurate, that specific. And so there's zero obligation, there's zero cost. I just want to show you the tools available. Have a great day.